Pop quiz. Name a person who's been frozen for years and lived to tell the tale. Captain America? Elsa of Arendelle? What if I told you there are actual people in real life who did just that? If you think that's cool, think again, because most of them didn't exactly survive the ice-olation. Here are 10 people who were frozen in time. What's up, Facnetics? This is Discovery Amuse, serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Stay tuned because our top one will surely bring chills down your spine. Now, let's break some ice. Ice, ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun. Number 10. George Maiory. Conquering the world's highest summit is every climber's biggest dream, but it turned into the biggest nightmare for these two daredevils. On June 4, 1924, famed British mountaineer George Maiory and his climbing partner Andrew Irvine embarked on a journey to conquer Mount Everest. Unfortunately, the two climbers disappeared that day and their bodies were never recovered. Not until 70 years later. On May 1st, 1999, while American rock climber Conrad Anker was doing research at Mount Everest together with a team of mountaineers, he noticed a large, flat, white rock on the northern slopes of the mountain. Upon closer inspection, he realized he was not looking at a rock, but the bare back of George Maiory. Time had degraded most of his clothing, but the parts of his body that had been covered were still well preserved. Anker chronicled his discovery of Maiory in a 1990 book titled The Lost Explorer. Keep watching because our number one story played out like a twisted fairy tale. Number 9. Mr. and Mrs. Dumoulin. Imagine passing away and only getting a proper funeral 75 years later. It's the bittersweet story of Swiss couple Marceline and Francine Dumoulin. On August 15, 1942, the couple left home to milk their cows, but never returned, leaving behind their 7 children to fend for themselves. However, in July 2017, a ski resort worker came across 2 mummified bodies buried near the 2-mile-long glacier in the Western Alps. When he went closer, he saw 2 boots, a hat, and the blackened remains of the couple dressed in well-preserved clothes from the World War II era. Their identities were confirmed by their youngest daughter, Marceline Ötzi Dumoulin. Their funeral was held in a church in southwestern Switzerland. After 75 years, the couple were properly laid to rest. Number 8. Cherches Man. Our next story got a lot of historians and archaeologists thinking, what were ancient Europeans doing in China? Found in 1978 at the Tarim Basin located in the town of Cherches in China, the Cherches Man is one of the most famous mummies ever discovered in China, and it's easy to see why. Just look at his perfectly preserved remains, which have been frozen for thousands of years. The Cherches Man, whose features look more European than Chinese, is believed to have passed away around 1000 BC. He stood around 6 feet with reddish-brown hair, high cheekbones, and an aquiline nose. Researchers believe the Cherches Man is proof of the descent of the Afanasavan culture, which hailed from Siberia around 3300 BC. Number 7. Ötzi the Iceman. Between 3400 and 3100 BC, this man is believed to have died from being shot with an arrow which caused a fatal wound on his left shoulder. The mummy of Ötzi the Iceman, which was found in September 1991 in the Ötztal Alps in Austria, hence his nickname, had been sitting under ice for more than 5,000 years before it was finally unearthed. At first glance, the Iceman seems like any ordinary archaeological find, but what made him special is the mystery surrounding the aftermath of its discovery. Influenced by the curse of the pharaohs and the media theme of cursed mummies, claims have been made that Ötzi is cursed. When several people connected to the discovery, recovery, and subsequent examination of Ötzi eventually died. Okay, I'm not going anywhere near him. I'm perfectly fine 5,000 miles away. Number 6. Canadian Iceman. If you thought Ötzi's name didn't really roll off the tongue, try his Canadian counterpart, Quidai Dancici, I think, which means long ago person found in the ethnic language. Okay, we're calling him Canadian Iceman from here on. In July 1999, while 3 sheep hunters were out hunting near the Yukon border, they discovered the Canadian Iceman's body along a glacier. The partly mummified body had been divided in two due to glacier movement. The torso and the lower part of the body were separated by 2 to 3 meters. The head was missing, and the lower part of the legs, including the feet, were skeletonized. The examination of the human remains revealed that they belonged to a young man of about 18 years old. Radiocarbon dating placed the age of the Canadian Iceman's body at between 300 and 550 years, and he represents the oldest well-preserved human remains in North America. Number 5. Mummy Family. So far, we've mostly seen mummified bodies of full-grown adults. But have you ever seen a mummy of a 6-month-old baby? In 1972, while 2 brothers were out hunting at Killikitsuk in northwestern Greenland, they chanced upon 2 pits covered in stones. Curious, the brothers turned over a few stones and inadvertently discovered mummified bodies stacked on top of each other. The approximately 500-year-old mummies included 6 women and 2 children, one of whom is a 6-month-old baby boy. All of them are fully dressed in Inuit garb. The baby is believed to have been buried alive after his mother died and no one else could look after him. 4 of the Inuit mummies are now displayed at the Greenland National Museum. Number 4. FM 2030. Transhumanism, a movement that aims to capitalize on sophisticated technology to break through the limits of the human condition, sounds like a pretty recent concept, but the roots of this philosophy is actually attributed to a self-proclaimed futurist in the 70s named Feridun M. Esfandiari. The Iranian-American author and philosopher legally changed his name to FM 2030 to reflect his desire to live and celebrate his 100th birthday in the year 2030. And also, he wasn't a big fan of the usual naming conventions. Elon Musk would be so proud. On July 8, 2000, when FM 2030 died from pancreatic cancer at the age of 69, his body was in cryonic suspension at the Alcor Life Extension Facility in Arizona. Basically, his body was frozen in the hopes of resurrecting him in the future. Unfortunately, up until now, proof that this experiment is effective is yet to be seen because cryonics is still generally considered a pseudoscience. Number 3. The Tollund Man. This next mummified corpse was so well preserved that he was even mistaken for a recent murder victim. In fact, the stubble on his chin, eyelashes, and the wrinkles in his skin can still be observed in minute detail, but lo and behold, he is believed to have actually lived during the 4th BC. The Tollund Man was found in 1950 on the Jutland Peninsula in Denmark. His remains were deliberately mummified in a peat bog or a wetland. Because of the position of his body that looks like he's sleeping, along with the fact that the man's eyes and mouth were closed, experts believe that he died as a human sacrifice rather than by execution. Archaeologists believe that the Tollund Man was ritually sacrificed as an offering to the gods during the pre-Roman Iron Age of Scandinavia. Number 2. John Shaw Torrington. In 1845, the Sir John Franklin expedition set off from England to find the Northwest Passage that will serve as a gateway to Asia from North America. However, just 2 months after the voyage began, no one heard from the crew again. One of the missing explorers in that expedition was John Shaw Torrington. Fast forward to 1984, and a team of anthropologists was finally able to unearth Torrington's coffin, which was buried 4 feet deep in permafrost. Amazingly, his body didn't look a lot different from when he was buried 140 years ago. That year, People magazine named Torrington one of the world's most interesting personalities, and James Taylor even wrote a song inspired by him titled The Frozen Man. Talk about leaving a legacy.
My brothers and the others were lost at sea. die alone and return.
Before we go to our number one pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. And of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app's settings. Number 1. La Doncella. The La Doncella, or the Maiden, is well known as a mummified teenage girl who died more than 500 years ago in a ritual sacrifice in the Andes Mountains. La Doncella was found dressed in a ceremonial tunic and adorned with a headpiece, tokens of her new status as a messenger to the heavens. Scientists also said that she drank corn liquor, which likely would have put her to sleep. Her body was among the best preserved mummies ever found, with internal organs intact, blood still present in the heart and lungs, and skin and facial features mostly unscathed. No special effort was made to preserve her. The cold and the dry, thin air did all the work. Children were sacrificed as part of a religious ritual. Only beautiful, healthy, physically perfect children were chosen, and based on Incan beliefs, the children did not die but joined their ancestors and watched over their villages like angels. So, which of these stories made you freeze in terror or thaw in awe? Let us know in the comments section below. Take home any of our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description. And while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? And if you're craving more historical wonders, then don't miss our countdown of the 10 most incredible underwater discoveries ever. Till then, stay chill, Factnatics, and see you in the next video.